To become a better leader of tomorrow in just a short amount of time, subscribe to our Raj Shamani Clips channel. Coming to the next topic, okay, that was about education. And because I have my own courses as well. I have my small university called Figuring Out University, where we teach people a lot of how to become content creators, how do you expand your businesses through social media and stuff like that, right? And there's something I came to a realization, because I used to talk about public speaking as well. And I used to have courses on public speaking and stuff, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, India, specifically, this is what the pattern I've seen. India spends very high when there's a promise of
jobs,
yeah. Well, of jobs or the money or something in return. Like there's a promise of certificate which can get them a better job, right?
Yeah.
They spend very less on soft skills.
Yeah.
Right? Then they spend like extremely low on something which is just for passion.
Yeah.
So the highest is something which is rewarding them instantly.
Yeah.
Second is passion, and third is something which is just like कि मुझे passion भी नहीं है. Second is soft skill, and third is passion.
Yeah.
So do you feel that that's true?
I think that's a very good categorization. But bottom line is, it's not about whether... See, firstly, education is a very evolved word, because education is a calendar event now in your life, which is school and college. So the minute you say education, sounds like I'm going back to a place to learn. And I think today people are understanding that education is a lot more. It's a lifelong learning process, or a learning process, or a skilling process, or an upgrading process there. You're right that for a lot of people, see, in a developing country, or even though we're going to be one of the 3 largest economies, we're still in many ways developing, even though we're not a category of a developing country in India. But in that category, you are looking at where 90% of the people do want some sense of instant gratification. There's low ROI on soft skills, because it's not an immediate.
Yeah.
You know in the heart of heart that, yeah, if I could just do this, actually I just finished interviewing for a job. But if I don't think the connection is that if I knew my soft skills, I would be able to get 80% better marks just because I presented myself better, rather than I knew everything I needed to do to go into that interview. So today it's a lack of knowledge that you feel, because soft skills is the most important. I'm a product of soft skills.
Yeah.
I'm not a product of hard skills. I did my BCom and then I moved on to being an entrepreneur. So everything that I've done since that, not having had funding for 10 years, not having had recourse, is about my own self-confidence, then my ability to communicate. And I wasn't born with that, right? I mean, it was something that I inculcated. I realized the power of soft skills more than anything else. And therefore, I'm a preacher of that. I'm an evangelist. And my second book I did was really about saying how important soft skills is. And I think for a lot of people, they don't see the immediate ROI. They feel, but actually, that is going to be 10 times more critical today in this field of education. And I think what you're doing here and on this show, people want to absorb that today. They want to feel, okay, so I need that 2-3 things. They might listen to us for 45 minutes. They just need to get 2 points out of it. Nobody needs to get 40 points out of it. We've talked about an array of things, and I know you might say, we've talked about lots of things and there's too much. But actually, what I want to do is, if one person has 2 things to take away from it, superb.
True.
Now that, in that context, what they take will be something that will give them that level of clarity and confidence to put into life. So I think soft skills is underrated, but it's very, very, very critical. I've started calling it super skills, because soft sounds soft.
Yeah.
But super sounds like Shaktiman.
And nice,
right?
I like that.
So I think we should all, because we're going to be a superpower, and I think we should just call it super skills, because actually it's going to give you superpowers, and you're going to be a superhero if you can just get your soft skills into some super skills. And look, there are 60 soft skills. You just need to know 2. Pick your 2. Not everything is about you being able to be a great person, or an articulation, or English language, or Hindi language, or Tamil mein. I think it's about any 2 things that you think will make you stand out is what you need to pick, and then just focus on them.
Just curious question from an entrepreneur point of view. What's the difference between Upgrad versus all the other edtech companies?
Yeah, so I mean, the way I see it is, our vision is a much more integrated approach, right? I mean, I'm saying somebody may just want to give college degrees, somebody wants to do a boot camp, somebody wants to do just job enable. I think what we have, and this is my media upbringing and the way I've started a media company, I'm a firm believer that scale in a country like India, or when you want to build a global company, which I think we want to do, is to have something integrated, which means you take everyone past K-12, which is a college learner, all the way till 65, and look at all their needs. And I think that's a differentiator today, where some people are doing study abroad, some people are doing transnational education, some people are doing only boot camps, some people are doing formal degrees, some people are doing undergrad degrees, some people have only offline and online blended. I think our ability is to do all. And I think reflecting back, when I started off and finally made a media business, and I think the reason we stood out and created value was because we were not just a content creator. We were not just a production house, but we had 10 broadcast channels, yet we understood content and created for many people. Yet we were a movie studio, we were an animation studio and a production house. So it was all very much part of media. It wasn't some diversified salt to steel kind of definition. It was a very connected approach to creativity and being a catalyst, but in an area where when something went down, something would go up. And I think that makes more like an aircraft carrier. So I see ourselves more as a flotilla or as a sort of an armada of ships rather than just having one aircraft carrier, because sometimes once that hit, then it's hit.
And which one is your favorite, or where do you see the most traction out of all the things that you provide?
So at Upgrad, I'm fascinated by the fact that I think the future of learning tomorrow is going to be a lot more about peer-to-peer learning. And I know that most people said when you build brick and mortar, curriculum is important, follow the rules is important, and faculty is important. And faculty is definitely important, but we're not going to be able to solve the faculty problem in India because it isn't. But peer-to-peer learning today is becoming, as it's like anything else, right? When you want to consume, you don't want to see a marketing ad anymore. You want to see what 40 other people who experienced it went through that.
Yeah.
So that whole element of study groups and peer-to-peer learning is something that we're cannibalizing. And second, I think that the umbrella of the future of learning is coaching and mentoring. And I don't mean one-on-one coaching or even what we're doing here. It's just the element of permanent coaching and mentoring. If I look at these two umbrellas, I think that's our guiding force for everything that we're building for the next 10 years.
Thank you so much for watching this clip till the end. For more such amazing, insightful clips, please subscribe to our channel.